Hey, in this video, I want to share with you how you can recruit more people into your network marketing business. All right, in the right way as well. Some people, they might see this and be like, oh, it's just recruit. I want you to understand that when you close the door or you close a transaction, you open a transformation. Network marketing is one of the greatest industries in the world simply because you can help someone go from where they are right now and where they want to get to. And there are different things. You can obviously expose them to a product or a service, meaning you sell them, they become a customer, and they get a benefit that way. Or you can obviously help them become a promoter of the product and help other people get a transformation, a personal transformation that they had. Or you can help people become a business builder by having other people build a business of getting customers and therefore create residual income, which can transform their life that way. All right. And in this video, I want to talk about the latter, where it comes to recruiting people inside of your network marketing business. And a lot of people, they try and convince people, and they say that amateurs convince, professionals sort, but there is a second thing as well. Professionals persuade. Now, a lot of people, especially the haters, will go, oh, they persuade people to join. Persuade is what sales is. In fact, in Latin, persuade is persuadere. I'm trying to say that with the proper Latin accent, right? Persuadere, which means through to completion, to advise through to completion. So persuade is to advise through to completion. And in order to do that, you have to have a pipeline. You got to have a process. So imagine this. You want to buy a house and you go to it in the UK, it's like an estate agent, or in the US, I think you call them like a realtor. You go to an estate agent and they're going to ask you. So that's step one. You go to the estate agent, or the estate agent puts a letter through your door. Do you want to sell your house? Do you want to buy a new house? Whatever. And you have a conversation and they're going to ask you things like how many bedrooms, what's the budget? Do you want a garden? Do you want a driveway? Do you want a garage? Like, they ask you all these different questions, what locations, and then they're going to give you a short list. And then you're going to go see the house. Then you're going to go for a second viewing. Then you might take a builder for the third viewing. And then it goes to like solicitors or the lawyers. And there's a process. And the estate agents or the realtors know that the more people they get to view a house, the more offers they're going to get. The more offers they get, the higher the price is going to be. And the higher the price to be, the more likely they are going to sell it, and so on and so forth. The more their commission is going to be. So there's a process in that game. There's a process in school. There's a process in the military. There's a process in the religion game. There's a process with everything. What's your recruiting process? Or what's your process of advising people through to completion? I'm going to give you a super simple 6-part process. Step number 1 is generate a lead, also known as lead generation. Now, if I go back before social media, one of the biggest reasons that people failed and got frustrated or challenged in network marketing is because they ran out of people to talk to. So it goes something like this. You would get on the laptop or the computer or your phone and you would write a list of all the people who you knew, and you'd be super excited about that. And part of you would be nervous to speak to them. The other part of you would be thinking, oh, I can't wait to speak to all these people.
I'm going to be rich after this, residual income. Woo!
And then you run out of people to talk to. Some of them say yes, some of them say no. If you're in my case, I got 4 yeses out of 137 people. And this was
way back then.
So then you have to generate leads. How do you do that? Social media. You use Facebook groups, you use Instagram stories or Reels, you use LinkedIn, you use YouTube, you use TikTok videos. You've got all these different ways to generate leads. That's step 1. Now, when you have a lead, what do you do? So the second stage is you need to ask the question. If you don't ask, you don't get. If you don't ask, you'll never know. If you don't ask, you don't receive. Now, there's 2 different ways of going about this. Number 1 is the direct way. You generate a lead, you connect with them to say, hey, and then you ask them straight away. Hey, Mary, just curious, would you be open to checking out some more information on a game-changing system that I use to make money on social media? No worries if not, I just thought I would ask. The second way is the relationship building way, where you connect with someone, you get to know them a little bit. I use an acronym called LORD, which I wrote about in my first book, I Dare You. LORD is L-O-R-D, stands for location, so where are you based? Occupation, what do you do for a living? Recreation, what do you do in your spare time? And D is for dreams. So what's your number 1 goal? What are your dreams this year? Like, what does life look like when you get them? Just ask some questions to get to know the fundamentals of someone. Mainly, so when you follow up, you can ask, like, hey, what's the weather like in Sydney today? Hey, have you had any chance playing golf recently? Hey, what's life been like on the construction site recently? Hey, how are you getting on with that trip to Disneyland? There's something to follow up with that makes you a good human being. Be a good human first, market a second. It also costs $0 to be a good human. Now, which way's best? I can't tell you that. The perfect way is the way that you do consistently and you feel good doing and gets you the results. You will find in different markets, people like in Australia, when I did a poll, almost everyone did relationship building. Parts of America, they like direct. Parts of the UK, different. Every market's different. So step number 1 is lead generation. Step number 2 is asking the question. Now, when it came to asking the question, there was a word that I used that the majority of you don't, and that's the word system. A lot of people would say, hey, Mary, just curious, would you be open to checking out some information on a game-changing business or a game-changing product product that I use to lose weight? No worries if not, just thought I would ask. But if you use the word system, you are going to increase the amount of curiosity that people have. You're going to increase the number of people who say yes, and therefore you're going to increase the rest of the process. So again, hey Bob, just curious, would you be open to checking out some information on a game-changing system that I follow or that I use to help people make money on social media? No worries if not, I just thought I would ask. The last part of it, no worries if not, I just thought I would ask, that is you literally giving them the opportunity to say no, or you taking it away from them if they hesitate. That's it. It's super simple to say, and it allows you to feel more comfortable, feel that you're not selling, because remember, you're not necessarily selling, you're serving. You're advising people through to completion. It's the whole aim of the game. Okay, so number 1, lead generation. Number 2, ask the question. Number 3 is the presentation. Now you've got to do the presentation. You can either show someone like a webinar, a Zoom call, a one-on-one meeting, a home meeting, a hotel meeting. It could be a recorded video. It could be a YouTube video. It could be anything, as long as it shows the people, it shows the plan, it shows the product, and it shows the process. So again, like the video, again, it's going to show what people have to do. There's only 3 things that people want to know. They want to know, what do I do? Can I do it? Will it be worth it? What do I need to do? It's the system or the process. Can I do it? It's the people, like them. Will it be worth it? It's the product, it's the plan. So those are the 4 things you need to show. I need to show the product. I need to explain the product. I need to show the pay plan. I need to show the people who are doing it. I need to show the process. And you can figure out the order. As long as you answer those 3 questions, you will win. But there's a problem. You're going to get a lot of people, when you ask the question, say yes, because they're curious, but you're looking for people who are serious. And you're going to get 2 types of people. Type number 1, there are people who are curious. These are suspects. And the people who are serious, these are prospects. So before you get people onto a presentation, you need to qualify them. And how you do this is simply when someone says, I'm open, tell me more, you're going to say something like this. That is amazing. You're going to love the information that I'm going to share with you. But before I do that, I want to make sure that you're not wasting your time and I'm not wasting my time. So why do you want to make money online? Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to build a stay-at-home business? They're going to then reply. The suspects are going to go,
oh, it's too much work to get the information.
And they just ghost you anyway. They ignore you. They vanish anyway. But the prospects, they will give you an answer. They will say something like,
oh, I really want to be able to make an extra income so I feel more secure. Or my wife just lost her job and I want to make sure that I can replace it without her having the stress of going and finding another job.
And then you can go deeper. Okay, so why is that important to you? Or what would life look like when that happens? Are you committed to go through a 15-minute video or a 7-minute presentation or an evening away from your family to be able to establish whether this is something you want to do or not? And what's that income level look like? Asking all these questions so that they're already sold themselves. Because remember, I've said this time and time again, leaders are seeders. Your goal is to plant the seed of hope, the seed of doubt, the seed of an idea they can play the game at a different level, at a bigger level. But you're only going to do that when you qualify. Why? Because questions are the answers. Great book by the author is Alan Pease. The better questions you ask, the better answers you will get. So start getting really good at asking questions. Now, most people think that comes after the presentation. No, it should come before. Why? Because the harder you qualify, the easier the close. So generate a lead, ask the question and qualify, do the presentation. Number 4 is follow-up. We've all heard this a million times. The fortune is in the follow-up. I say the fortune's in the follow-ups. Always plural. You won't make a fortune by following up once. You'll make a fortune by following up over and over and over again. But the majority of people are scared because they don't know what to say. They're afraid of getting objection. They think like, my phone hasn't rang, which means they can't be that serious. So what's the point in getting the rejection anyway? So at the end of a presentation, instead of it going, get back to the person who introduced you to this video to find out more. Like, no one ever gets back to the person who introduced them unless they are like red hot, super keen, I am in. But it's a very small number of people. Instead, it should go like this. Congratulations on qualifying for the next step. The person who introduced you to this video is now going to message you to see if you have any questions before giving you the golden next step. So please do them a favor. When they message you, make sure you respond whether it is for you or not. But congrats, qualifying and making it here. The only people who are going to see that are the people who get to the end. So treat them like royalty and they'll give you their loyalty. Here's the key. When you get someone onto the presentation, make sure you say before, right, when you qualify, you're going to say something along the lines of,
hey, amazing. I'm going to send the link over to you. Can you watch it today so that I can introduce you to some friends of mine tomorrow?
I'll do it in like a three-way group chat. Be super simple. They say, yeah, sure. Now what you've done is you've set a deadline, because no deadline, no deal. If you don't have a deadline, the deal's not going to go through. You're not going to win. Okay. So you qualified them. You say, great. I'm going to send the information over. It takes 7 minutes to review. Can you watch it tonight so that I can introduce you to some of my friends tomorrow? I'll do that by like a group messenger chat. They say, yeah, sure, great. Bang. Step 3, presentation. Bang. Step 4 is the follow-up. And the follow-up, you're just going to introduce everyone. Now, it could be you, your prospect, and an upline. It could be you, a prospect, a sideline. It could be you, a prospect, a downline. It could be you, a prospect, an upline, a sideline, and a downline. So introduce everyone and have them share their story. If you want to hack, get people to send a video, like record a video of their story. Say, hey, Mary, hope you're doing good, and then send the video. And in the video, it's nameless. I wanted to share my story real quick so they can use the same video over and over and over again. That's follow-up. And point number 5 is launch. Once someone actually makes a decision, because the follow-up is going to include the close, you're going to do the close. And remember, the harder you qualify, the easier the close. By the time the close comes, if you've qualified correctly, whether it's a video call, a voice call, or a text, by that stage, when they see the presentation and they see other people involved and have their questions answered, the closing is simply,
hey, does this sound like a fit for you? Hey, are you ready to get started? Hey, do you have any questions right now before you can get started today?
very, very simple. It's not complicated to close, but the qualifying, it just requires a little bit of skill. So point number 5 is launching them. So they say that amateurs start or join businesses, professionals launch. All right, and launching, if you think about the rocket, 90% of the rocket's energy is used to get it into like terminal velocity or escape velocity, which is when it escapes the Earth's atmosphere. That's it. That's what you've got to help people do. So it's setting a date. When are we going to launch? Making a post about on social media, writing your list, committing to this, integrating yourself onto the Facebook group. There's loads of different launch steps. I'm going to do a completely different video on that, so make sure you keep an eye out on that. The easiest way to be reminded by that is just smashing the subscribe button, giving us a thumbs up, and then make sure in the description there is a link to sign up for our free newsletter. It's fraserbrooks.com/newsletter so that you can get all our newsletters. It's packed with value. We send 5 or 6 emails every single week, and you're going to absolutely love it. And then number 6 is lead. So you generate a lead, you ask the question, you do a presentation, you follow up, you launch, and then you lead. The leadership part of this is to duplicate. It's to identify the people who you need to work with. You work with the best and believe in the rest. You identify the people who you need to work with, and then you pour into them for a reason, for a season, and then you look to find the leaders in the organization to create what I call a lab, which is a leadership advisory board. I love acronyms. A leadership advisory board who you're going to meet with every single week online to decide the future of the team, the future of the culture, remove any cancer from the organization, to remove any drama or politics from the organization. And if you do those 6 steps over and over and over again, not only will you get excited by generating leads, but you will create more leaders. And I really need you to understand, one of my favorite acronyms of all time is SINALOA. SINALOA. Safety or strength in numbers and the law of averages. When you put a large number of people through a process, the numbers are going to speak for itself. And when you know the numbers, you will do more of the activity. So if you get 500 leads, how many of them do you ask the question to? Let's say 300. When you ask the question to 300 people, how many people go onto the presentation? Let's say 50. When you do a presentation, how many do you follow up with? Let's say 40. When you do 40 follow-ups, how many people do you launch? Let's say 10. When you launch 10 people, how many do you generate as a leader? 1. So you now know I need to generate 500 leads, put them through the process, and I'm going to generate 1 leader. How much can 1 leader be worth to you? An exceptional amount of money. And how do you find that out? 1, you take the money that you would make. Let's say a leader would be worth $1 million to you. Divide that number by 500. So now you have a number that you can say, every lead I generate is worth this amount, because when I do 500 of them, I generate 1 leader, which is worth $1 million to me in future income, potentially, right? I'm just using numbers for example. So if you got value there, do me a massive favor, smash the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and then make sure you use the comments down below to share any opinions, any questions that you might have, to allow me to create better content to serve you in the direction you need to go. And don't forget to join the free newsletter down below. It's fraserbrooks.com/newsletter. All right, take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.